better be a boss hoe. Shake off them bags.
Okay, so seriously, Instagram, I'm back. If you've seen my video before, I was supposed to talk a little bit about the Venus retrograde and what's taking place in the retrograde. Look at that orb right here. Isn't that crazy? Look at this orb right over my shoulder. Spiritual energy. Anyway, you guys, so basically, just as I was told by my astrologist, in the Venus retrograde, I'm not in a relationship. For those that are in a relationship, they may face, a lot of relationship problems. I've seen a lot of people break up. I got clients that are breaking up, men and women that just go missing. Like, they don't know where their boyfriend or girlfriend is because the person is up to some other things. But what's happened for me as a single woman is that a lot of my exes are trying to come back, and I felt obligated at first, like, oh God, he's calling me. But you know what? That is nothing but a bag, and it doesn't belong to me. But anyways, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Venus retrograde today. So first of all, when we speak of retrograde, a lot of people are more familiar with the term of Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is pretty common as far as, a lot of people know what Mercury retrograde is, or at least have heard of Mercury retrograde. And we have those up to, 3 to 4 times in a year. And obviously that deals with communication. Mercury is the planet of communication. When things are in a direct form, then obviously, they're known to have more of the positive aspects. They are... the energies are more balanced, more direct as far as how they operate in harmony within the universe. Now, when we are looking at a retrograde aspect, then generally you'll get the opposite effects. Like let's look at Venus. So Venus is the planet of love. Venus is the planet of beauty and femininity, sensuality. It's the sister planet of planet Earth. It's the opposite of planet Mars, which would be, the planet of war, weapons, fiery energy, masculinity, all of those things that Mars is, it generally represents the energy of a man, and Venus is a woman, hence the book, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And that was kind of a book that describes the very different views and the nature itself of how men and women interact with each other. But right now we are dealing with the Venus retrograde, which started probably the mid-October, or even second week of October, and has still going on. And I thought it was over actually November the 3rd, only to find out it was more something like between the 13th and 17th that this Venus retrograde continues. And then right after, you have, I think, Uranus goes retrograde. It's a lot of different things taking place. Quick interruption. These are the actual dates for the Venus retrograde for 2018, October and November. So take a look. So Venus retrograde basically affects relationships, more than anything. It's not generally like the best time. It's not like the best time to embark on new relationships, or even to make decisions that are epic ones regarding your current relationship. You may find that you have a lot of hard times dealing and having harmony in the relationship during the retrograde of Venus. You have a lot of turmoil, and you can't really come to any balance and things of that sort. So when that happens, we suggest, as astrologers and spiritual teachers and occultists. I'm not a astrologer, but I do, I am pretty well informed in astrology. I do study it. I've taken a few classes. I would like to further my study in astrology, but it's not a time to really get involved in these relationships that are new, or something that's not stable. It may not be the time to actually break up with someone, even though you guys may be having problems. It may just be the time to just observe and really sit and think and get introspection about your relationship, because Venus is generally is more on focusing. A lot of things may stop because I think Venus is also associated with money and wealth. You know, she's a golden kind of planet. I know we associate Oshun with Venus, and she's also the goddess of wealth. You know, so that whole energy of just love and producing and creativity, you know, those things that are attributed to Venus. So, you know, I think it's more of a time of just basically, you know, making plans, but not necessarily all of this major action. Because remember, action comes with Mars, mostly. You know, that's an action-oriented planet, where the Venus energy, especially going in a retrograde, would be a little more, you know, a little more passive and dreamy. Now, in retrograde, Venus could also be good for some people, depending on other aspects that you have for money. This is the time where money may be the best thing you have going in the Venus retrograde, okay? But that doesn't stop money with Jupiter that we have today. When Venus goes direct, you know, money, I still see, you know, this is a pretty good year, actually. This is the year of the dog. But not to get off subject. So back to Venus. People that were asking me about love relationships, will this work out? Will that work out? Will I find somebody new? I just tell them to, you know, hold tight. Don't make any major decisions regarding Venus in the retrogrades, and, you know, with the retrograde in effect and everything. So, and I know I'm just kind of ranting, you guys, because I have a lot on my mind, but I just wanted to touch on this part of the retrograde that I've experienced. You know, I'm a single woman. I've been single for a couple years, you know, like not in no major relationship. I might have dated briefly, but nothing really serious. And what's happening for me is I got out of a really serious relationship 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. And, you know, after that, I've been pretty single, but there's still people that I haven't spoken with or seen in years. And what the retrograde is doing for me is bringing a lot of people from my past back into my life, and, you know, trying to reach out or get with me, whether it's for a relationship or just for a sexual connection or just want to spend time or whatever. And, you know, at first I was kind of getting caught up in that, because I would take the calls of people that I really don't want to talk to. Like, I really don't want to talk to you. Like, our time is done, you know, and are people that's trying to put pressure on me in different kind of ways or whatever. And I, you know, me being me and things I'm dealing with that Virgo syndrome of always thinking we have to be nice and please people and all of that. You know, what Venus retrograde did for me is I don't have to be. And I don't have to be a bag lady, because holding on to all of those old past relationships, things that are unresolved, just the idea that we would even consider going backwards in a relationship that probably didn't serve us. Either the person didn't want us, didn't treat us right, or just whatever it is, and then we're ready to go backwards out of maybe not having, you know, that love we want yet, or just, you know, one other thing I've seen with Venus retrograde, it makes you nostalgic. So you may go through nostalgic feelings, you know, nostalgia meaning, you know, just longing for someone from the past, memories and things like that. So a lot of stuff did come up. And then some of these people were just asking me some crazy stuff. You know, one of them wanted me to get into some kind of situation with him and his girlfriend, and I'm like, no, bro, you're out there, you're bugging. And, you know, I just kept, they just asking me, putting all these demands on me. One dude, I mean, all of these aren't my boyfriends. Some of these people are people that I just talk to. Like, we were on that track of getting to know each other. You know, I haven't had sexual contact with everyone I'm speaking of. But, you know, what I'm saying is that it's just that old energy, a person that's not serving you returning to do what? You know, to say the same thing. So that's what we have to think about. See, this retrograde is about reviewing relationships. It's not just about, oh, my love life isn't going good. When is God going to send me someone else? No, it's actually looking at self and reviewing what you've already went through and reviewing these cycles, and instead of jumping into something new or going backwards and it's just going to have the same outcome. If a person isn't aligned with your values and your principles, you are wasting your time. Unless you don't have any values and principles. If you don't have that integrity, then, you know, I guess anything goes. But truth be told, you know, I just wish them well. But I realized today that I don't have to carry those bags. That's the whole bag lady syndrome. You can release those bags anytime you feel like it. We hold on to bags thinking it's something that's a part of us. But I feel hella free and liberated every time I put somebody in a place that feel like they can cross those boundaries with me. And when you set your boundaries, you feel so much liberated and so much freer. And that's what the Venus retrograde has done for me. Like I said, I'm not in a relationship, but for those of you who are, and your relationship problems are kind of on another level, is he cheating? He's more withdrawn, all of these different things, and depending on what his sign is or whatever, then you may be dealing with a lot of the Venus retrograde energy. So I would just suggest that you don't make any major or epic decisions right now, and just see what's going to unfold. What are you going to find out about you? Because that's what this retrograde is really about as far as Venus go. It's about reassessing your own emotions, and looking at who you're becoming as this is going in time backwards. It makes sense for people from the past to come back in, or for certain past emotions for you to revisit, because what it's really doing, because Venus don't retrograde very often. You may want to look up Venus retrograde and get more information, because I don't want to make this too much of a long video. I have to go to work, all kind of other stuff. I'm about to walk into work now, actually. But yeah, just bear with me on this one and listen to the information, regardless if I'm looking around waving at people, because I got a lot going on. I'm a busy woman. But as I said, it's just a time to revisit, not just for women, but for men too. Some people may come out the closet at this time. Some people may choose to not go in the closet. Some people may discover that they're gay. Some may discover they're not gay. Some people that are sexual addicts may suddenly withdraw or lose that drive to be very sexual, during this time. Wait till Mars kick back in, though. But anyway, so that's my Venus retrograde experience. I didn't go really in detail about it. I just wanted to kind of share some information about the retrograde, of my experience with the retrograde. And please feel free to tell me about what you've been experiencing during this retrograde. Again, this will go all the way to between November 13th and 17th, and I may not be sure about those dates exactly. But let me get back to you guys on that, and I will do another Venus retrograde video. I'll talk a little bit about some love spells. Anyway, have a good day. Peace. Ashe.